Okay, so what is your why? Let's start at the top. Let's start all the way to the top. Why are you getting into business? Why are you in business? Why did you start your business? Once you really know the answer to that, you'll know how to apply the information that I'm about to give in this video. Okay. What am I talking about? The whole point of this video is basically this: not growing your cleaning company could be the biggest disservice that you do to your family. And it's not for the reason that you're probably thinking that it is. Guys, if you get any value from this video, I'm asking that you please go ahead and leave a like for the algorithm. With that said, let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so here's my why. And I wish that it was something that was, it was big, it was, grandiose, it was this beautiful thing. The truth of the matter is it was pretty simple. Okay. I got into business simply because I didn't want to work for anyone else. I didn't want to clock in for anyone else. I didn't want to ask anyone else if I could take the day off. I didn't want to ask anyone. There were so many things that was just like I was turned off completely from the idea of working for someone else. So I knew that in order for me to go ahead and do the things that I wanted to do, that I probably should start my own business. And the cleaning business had a low barrier entry. It's still a low barrier entry. So that just made sense for me, right? And that's what I did. Now, why I got into business is not the reason why I stayed in the business. Why I stayed in business was because I got so much more than I thought that I ever would have got. And again, I'm not talking about money. We're not talking about that at all. The things that I got out of business from being in business, from having the time available that the business provided, I got to make deeper connections with those that are closest to me, right? Like, me and my wife's connection is so much, it was never really bad before, but it's deeper now. I wouldn't have got that if I'm gone, 40, 60 hours a week. I'm home. I'm able to build. I'm able to bounce ideas. We bounce ideas off of each other. We're building. So that right there by itself is something that a lot of people really don't get. And not to compare myself to other people, but I recognize that. I recognize it because I don't only see it in my wife, but I also see it in my kids. Like I'm able to, not only be a part in coaching staffs, but I'm able to be at all my son's football practices. All of, when he was in Taekwondo, all of the meets, everything. I never missed anything. With my daughter, the same situation. I'm helping her with this. I'm helping her with that. I'm helping her with her gymnastics and her tumbling in the living room and all of the different things. These are the reasons why I stayed into business, especially when times were dark, when times weren't as good, when I was in the beginning and I was trying to get things figured out and things weren't looking, the brightest for the company, right? These are the reasons why I stayed in business. That alone is enough to just keep me in business if I never made any more money than I was making prior to me starting my business, right? And I really wasn't making a whole lot of money. But if I never made any more money than that, but I got that time, that quality time, it would still be worth it for me. But let's say for you, you are to the point where you want to start growing your business. You want to go ahead and get accounts. You don't know how to get accounts, right? There's so many different ways. You got, SEO, Google My Business, you got Google Ads. The fastest way to go ahead and do it is through cold calling. It's always going to be the fastest way. If you don't have time to do the cold calling or you don't know how, you're nervous, it's completely understandable. I got a link in the description for our appointment setting service. Give us 30 days, 30 business days. We will get you your walkthrough that will put you in the face of a decision maker, somebody who can actually sign a contract, right, and get you your first, your first account, second account. Maybe it's your 30th account, but at least you'll be in position to go ahead and start moving forward to start you on the path to growing your business. Okay, but like getting accounts. I hope this does not come off as cocky or come off as arrogant, because that's really not what I'm not trying to portray that at all. But getting accounts is not hard. It's not the hardest thing that's out there. The hardest part for me when it came to growing the business, don't get me wrong, until you develop a skill or the skill on how to get a client, how to get clients, how to get accounts, how to talk to different people, how to share your knowledge in a digestible way that makes it easily understandable for whoever it is that you're talking to say, okay, I believe in you, I trust you enough to go ahead and sign that contract. You have to develop those skills. But once you do that, like it's not getting hard at all. The hardest part for me though was this. I'm in business. I have, my first, I don't know how many it was, 5, 6 accounts, something around there. And I'm to the point where it's like, I'm really, really getting burnt out because I'm doing a lot of the work, right? I'm doing so much of the work and I'm getting burnt out. And it wasn't so much that the accounts were really big and it was so hard, but when you're working, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 months, 7 days a week, it wears on you. And not only will it start to wear on you, but you'll start to like cut corners. So it's time to bring in someone else, okay? This is how this is going to look. And this is the most difficult part. And if you've been in business for, any period of time and this has happened, go ahead and comment, leave a comment on what let me know if I'm right, if I'm wrong, or if this looked different to you. But you're going to come across this scenario. And this scenario is going to present itself in 2 different ways. One is going to be internally, the other one is going to be externally. This is what I'm talking about. Let's go over the internal way first, okay? So internally, it's going to look how it happened with me. And that was me not wanting to bring people in because that meant that I had to release some control. I had to trust someone that I didn't know with something that's very close to me, which is the business, this thing that I'm trying to build. I have to bring them in and trust that they're going to do this thing, right? Trust that they're not going to steal anything, or they're not going to embarrass the company, or they're not going to damage the client's equipment, or whatever it is, right? I had to go ahead and release that control, right? And here's the thing. Here's one of the biggest. Once you get past the fact, like, okay, anything that can happen in this account that's going to be taken, broken, or damaged in any sort of way, my insurance and then my bond will cover it. So we're good financially. That's easy. The other part though is like thinking, how are they going to be able to clean as good as I clean? How I don't want to lose my account because they're not cleaning right. I'm getting complaints. And I got to tell you the truth. Like I'm going to be honest with you 100%. The truth is that if you in your business and you love your business and you dedicate it and you're paying attention to detail and you're doing all of these special things for the customer, not necessarily so much special, but you're making sure that each and everything is done every time, to the T, like you're in the military and you got to pass inspection or something. If you're cleaning like that, I can promise you that you probably won't find an employee who's going to clean like that. You probably won't find an employee who cleans as good as you, period. And that's just the reality of it. But here's the thing. You don't have to find an employee that cleans as good as you. You have to find an employee that cleans good enough, okay? That cleans good enough to where the customer's not complaining, or if they are complaining, the complaints are minimal. And then you have to go in and develop a system to where you're able to go behind them, or someone goes behind them to fix the mistakes or correct them. You're probably going to get a C to a C plus cleaner, and you want to push them up to a B plus, A minus, right? This is what it's going to look like 9 times out of 10. Okay. You're going to get someone and you're going to build them up and push them along that way. I had a cleaner that was, this was probably about 2 years ago. He couldn't clean to save his life, but he could vacuum really, really well. So what I did was, don't clean nothing. I don't need you to worry about cleaning. What I want you to do is vacuum. Every account you go to, and I had him working in teams of 3, sometimes 4. That was his job. Go in, vacuum, just vacuum. That's it. Don't worry about nothing. You have to build on people's strengths, right? And then supplement their weaknesses with other people's strength. Okay, so that was really the first way. That's the internal, hurdle that you're going to have to get over, is knowing that, you are going to have to relinquish some control. You're going to have to trust people. You're going to have to train people. You're going to have to know that they're not going to be as good as you are, especially in whatever your strengths are. So if you're really strong at cleaning, expect they're not going to be, they're not going to meet that requirement. You just want to get them as close to that as possible. Okay. Now the next way is going to be external. This is going to be something that you really can't control. And this really happens more in smaller accounts, and I've heard about it happening in homes as well, right? But this is more so going to be in small accounts. This is going to, and we just had one, and I'm going to give you the solution, what we dealt with, what we did, and you can do however you like. But it's going to look like this. The client is going to be, usually they're always going to be there or around, okay? They're going to require, a lot of attention to detail, which is fine, but they are going to get used to you to the point where they may not want you to bring anyone else in. Or if you bring someone else in, they're going to find things to nitpick about, to get them out, to get you back in. They may come out and just tell you, hey, we really like the way you clean. We're used to you. We just want you. With that particular client, they have one of two options. They are going to have to work with you as you bring in a cleaner or cleaners, or develop a system within their house, or tailor a scope of work that's that much more specific to what they have going on, and expect them, you guys have to have a meeting of minds. They have to get on the same page as you, because you're here to build a business, not to it's always good when you can turn a client into a friend, or you guys have a really good rapport. But at the end of the day, the name of the game is business, and you're here to grow your business. So you're either going to have to come to terms with you on the fact that, you're not going to always be there, but hey, let's figure out an alternative so that we can all get what we want. Or, you're just going to have to let that client go. But again, your why is going to depend on how you take this information. For me, I've let two of those types of clients go, only because, back to the other things that I didn't know that I was going to get. I didn't know that I was going to get to spend all this time. And if I have a client who demands my time, twice a week or 3 times a week or whatever, whenever it is, then that's taking away from the other things, right? That's taken away from us being able to go on vacation, and us being able to, have our time, our family time, because my client needs me there to, make them feel better. It's convenient for them, right? And in business, we have to do what's best for the business, and then what's convenient for us and our family, right? We always have to make sure that, we're getting out of this what we went into it for. Okay, so it all boils back down to knowing your why. Why are you doing this? What are you really willing to put up with? Hey guys, so that is actually it for today's video. Let me know in the comments, what do you think? Am I on? Am I off? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Have you came across these situations before? Let me know in the comments. I'm curious to know what you think, guys. Like I say, in the game of business, spectators are only going to watch hustlers get into the game so they can win. I'm always dropping jewels. Just make sure you're in position to pick them up. You do that by liking, commenting, and subscribing. Once again, my name is Marcus Crockett. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.